at a Literary Princess, and today I have for you part 7 of my underrated Victorian recommendation series in honor of Victober, aka the best time of the year. So in this series, I take 3 works of Victorian literature that I believe are underrated, and I tell you a bit about them. Sometimes they are by authors who themselves are underrated. Sometimes they are by the more well-known Victorian authors, but these works are looked over in favor of their more popular ones. Today I have for you 3 books that are all from very underrated authors who happen to all be ones I am looking at in my dissertation, because you know I'm reading a lot of books by them right now. So let's jump right in. First up, we have a spooky one because it is spooky season. This is Charlotte Rydell's Weird Stories. I just read this in September and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I gave it 3.5 stars. This is a collection of supernatural short stories. Mostly they deal with ghosts. There are 5 stories in here, possibly 6. 6. We have Walnut Tree House, The Open Door, Nutbush Farm, The Old House in Vauxhall Walk, Sandy the Tinker, and Old Mrs. Jones. So most of these are somehow connected with the idea of money and inheritance, although some are not. Sandy the Tinker, I think, is the creepiest one, and that involves a pastor who is accidentally visited by the devil and is told that he has to come to hell unless he exchanges places with somebody. Really disturbing. These are a lot of fun. They're very quick. A few of them take place around Christmas time because ghost stories were a Christmas thing for some reason. I don't really know why, but you can see a few similarities between Dickens's A Christmas Carol and some of these stories, especially the focus on a miserly person who's then realizing that they have done bad or is kind of getting punished for what they've done. So these are a lot of fun, highly underrated. I mean, I didn't even realize it was in print, to be honest. This edition is printed by Victorian Secrets, which is specifically dedicated to printing underrated works from the Victorian era. So yeah, if you're looking for something a bit spooky this season, but not too spooky, they're not super scary. They're like just the right amount for something a little bit creepy, but it's not going to terrify you. This is definitely a good choice. Next up is more short stories, and this is The Mystery of Mrs. Blencarrow by Margaret Oliphant. This collection also contains Queen Eleanor and Fair Rosamund. These 2 stories both focus on women who are in marriages, and it's discussing kind of the issues of the institution of marriage, but instead of looking at young women, as books like this usually do, this is looking at middle-aged women who have been in their marriages for a while. So the first one, The Mystery of Mrs. Blencarrow, deals with a widow who has a secret that is threatened to be exposed. And the second one, Queen Eleanor and Fair Rosamund, deals with a woman whose husband has kind of just gone off and she can't find him. So she goes looking and is in for a really big surprise. These were great. I'm pretty sure I gave this 4.5 stars. I would have liked them to be longer. I think they could have been full-length novels, honestly. But it was really nice to see a discussion of marriage, not at the beginning of a marriage, but like in the middle, or at least in the middle of a woman's life. Mrs. Blencarrow is obviously a widow. Her husband has been dead for a while, but she is middle-aged. Her children are on the older side. And it's just nice to get that perspective, because so often when we are reading 19th century literature that's looking at marriage, we're dealing with very young women who are just at the start of their lives. and are looking for a marriage, or perhaps find a marriage and realize it's a mistake. Seeing it from a different perspective, I think, is really important. And then the final recommendation I have for you is Aurora Floyd by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. Braddon's most well-known work is Lady Audley's Secret, which I believe I actually talked about in a much earlier video, because Braddon is still a very underrated author, even though Lady Audley is well-known-ish. Aurora Floyd is very similar to Lady Audley in we have a very wealthy young woman who has a secret, and we have to wonder how far is she going to go to protect this secret and keep it from being exposed. This is just a great time. It's twisty and turny. The original, like, her secret is pretty easy to figure out, and it's usually revealed on the back of the book. But because spoilers, I don't know. But it's still a great time. We get blackmail, we get murder, we get people that we think are dead coming back to life. It's just really great. It's a lot of fun. Mary Elizabeth Braddon is commenting a lot upon the necessity of melodrama in fiction with this book, which I thought was really fascinating and is something I'm going to be looking at in my dissertation. And Aurora Floyd as a character is just fun. She likes horses and dogs and racing. She's not your typical Victorian woman. And I think because of that, she's very fun. So, those are the 3 underrated Victorian recommendations I have for you today. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you read any of these? What did you think? It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon for some more Victober videos. Bye.